MSNBC caused quite a stir this week by reporting that the father of one of the kids killed in the Newtown massacre had been heckled. But did the network engage in deceptive editing? Here's how the tape of a town meeting was played on Martin Bashir's show.
Why anybody in this room needs to have one of these assault-style weapons or military weapons.
Section amendment shall not be infringed.
All right?
All right.
Please, no comments while Mr. Heckled is speaking, or we'll clear the room.
A father's grief interrupted by the cries of a heckler.
But here's part of what the grieving father said that was edited out.
No, I wish I asked if there's anybody in this room that can give me one reason or challenge this question. Why anybody in this room needs to have one of these assault-style weapons or military weapons or high-capacity clips. And not one person can answer that question or give me any.
Section amendment shall not be infringed.
All right?
So what Neil Heckled said was, can anybody in this room give me one reason or challenge this question? And some people did. That seems to give it a very different meaning.
People to speak up. I mean, I think what you just played, it was clearly deceptively edited, and I can tell you on my show, Real News at the Blaze, want to get that in there, that as the host of the show, I do work with my producers to understand the full context of any sound that we use. So I don't think Martin Bashir can hide behind it that it was just given to him as a piece of tape that he then presented to his audience.
Well, the problem for me, yes, it was a distortion. It was a really bad job of editing. It changed the content of the clip by the editing. But MSNBC has still not really addressed it. They said they were reviewing it, they were going to go back and look at it, but in fact, other than running a longer version the next day, they have not really addressed the fact of the distortion.
Just to clarify, just to clarify, that's what happened on Martin Bashir's show after this criticism. He was off, but a substitute anchor said, we're going to play the full clip. You can make up your own minds. No hint of any misstep, of any apology, of any explanation, really, for that truncation, which you two at least seem to think was a serious distortion. David.
I think there are two issues here. One is the condensing of the clip, and I think people who saw the condensed clip probably didn't get the full picture. The other question that MSNBC is being attacked for is saying this was heckling. Now, and I think they're much stronger ground in making that accusation. There were the Connecticut Post, who was in the room, called it heckling. Others have called it heckling. I was on MSNBC the next day. They played the full clip for me. I said, that looks like heckling to me. Now, you can argue about whether it's heckling or whether he was being shouted at. Whatever it was
just very bad manners.
It was bad manners, and it was inappropriate for this guy who lost his son shot in the head a month ago to be doing that. But in terms of the editing, I think we can agree.
But the argument over heckling, you could say it's a judgment call. The argument over taking something out where the person who is at the microphone is saying, I ask anybody in this room,
inviting the room to vocally respond, and they do.
Seems to change the meaning in a way that it's hard for me to understand, to go to your point, Terry, why MSNBC has not offered either an explanation or, if not an apology, at least an acknowledgement that this was not sound journalistic editing.
Well, and this wouldn't be the first time that NBC has gotten into this pickle. We saw with the Trayvon Martin case and the 911 call, there was editing there that, did change.
George Zimmerman making that call, saying he's black or Hispanic after being
politically which way these edits always seem to go. It's never to the right, it was always to the left.
So you're suggesting perhaps it was intentional?
They sat at an editing machine and they cut that part out. Why they did that, we can speculate.
Everything is edited because otherwise you just run nothing but
television is about compression.
On TV. This one may not have been done as well as it should have been.
Yeah,
but,
I don't
think we need to get into conspiracies.
All right, well,
I can't talk about the motivation, but the result was clear.
We are editing this segment by saying we're out of time. Terry Smith, Dana Milbank, Amy Holmes.